So if you're in a police recruitment process, there are 5 things that you could fail on, and they are not anything to do with the assessment centre or your interview. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about what those 5 things are, because for all 5 of them, they are things that you can do something about now, as opposed to waiting until it's too late when there's heartache and upset, because that happens. How do I know this? Well, I'm Brendan from Bluelight, and at Bluelight we help people to plan, to prepare and practice for their recruitment process for promotion boards, so on the day we can guarantee a pass. And yes, for our academy members, we do actually guarantee a pass. If you fail, we will give you a full refund, because we know what works and we know how to get you over the line. So if you want to find out more about that, then check the links below. And also, it'd be great if you could take a look at our Trustpilot reviews. We're so proud of them, and thank you to all of you who have given us Trustpilot reviews over the years. So let's dive in. 5 things that you could fail on, that you're probably not even aware of now, that you're probably not even thinking of, because all you're thinking about is National SIFT, Online Assessment Centre, final interview. Well, you should also be thinking about vetting. This is where so many of you fail, and it's so upsetting for me when especially when they're clients of mine who I've been working with for months, and I get to know them quite well, and they're good people, but they fail on vetting. And the reason why they fail is because, I'll give you an example. One of my clients said, look, I think I'm going to struggle on vetting because I had a bit of a scuffle when I was at school, when I was a child. All right, okay, scuffle, yeah. So what was the outcome of that? Oh, I got some kind of caution from the police. Dig a bit deeper. Yeah, it's actually a caution for an assault. Chances of getting into the police now are pretty much 0. Same thing with, some friends of mine, we were out and we were in this chemist, a big retail chemist chain, and we just took a few lipsticks. We were 13 years old, messing about. Yeah, I got some kind of warning, I think, something like that. Yeah, it's a police caution for theft. Again, no chance ever of getting into the police. Now, the vetting guidelines are there. Look at them. If you've got any doubt, look at them. Driving offences, same thing. I was disqualified from driving. I didn't think I needed to mention it. It was 8 years ago. Yeah, you're never going to get through. Not for 10 years. Not for 10 years. And even then, the police service can quite legitimately turn around and say, no, thank you, we don't want you. So vetting. The other thing about vetting is your connections with other people. So if you've got a relative, a close relative, who has had some serious run-ins with the police, I don't mean a drunken disorderly 15 years ago, but I mean something that would put the police at risk because they're involved in criminality, then you're not going to get in. It's a third-party refusal, and it is sad because it's not your fault. You're a good person. You make a great police officer. But if you've got blood connections that are just a bit too close to the world of the criminals, then you are just not going to get into the police. And you've got to declare all of this as well. If you fail to declare anything, that is an instant fail. So I've had people in the past say that I forgot about that time I was arrested when I was 16. How could you forget that you were arrested? Seriously? That's a fail because you didn't declare it, because they ask for police involvement. Now, even if they only ask for convictions, cautions, or any other warnings, maybe like a domestic violence protection notice, you're not going to get in. You're not going to get in with one of those. Or it's highly unlikely. Or a harassment warning, again, highly unlikely that you're going to get into the police. You're too much risk. You're too much risk. The other thing to think about is police involvement. Now, I had a client several years ago who was failed on vetting because he had been arrested for, I think it was a public order offence, and he was released with no charge. So there's no conviction, just an arrest. But they dug out the statement of arrest. And in that statement of arrest, he said some very derogatory things about the police. So in the police officer's statement, he recorded, or she recorded, exactly what was said. and it was very derogatory about the police. So that's it. You know, as a serving officer, I would not want to work with this person. So it is strict, and it needs to be strict. It's strict for a reason, but the guidelines are out there. So save yourself some heartache and make sure you're fully aware of all the vetting requirements. Okay, the next one. Fitness. Now, in the world of Zoom, it's hard to tell what people's fitness is like, but quite, you know, I'm certain. I mean, mine's not great. You know, I know my BMI, body mass index, is probably, not just probably, it is over 30. I need to get it down. Now, if you are looking to join the police, you need to be of a certain standard of fitness. You need to be able to do 5.4 on the bleep test. I know some of you are going to say, oh, it's a walk in the park. That it isn't necessarily, depending on how you are physically, how your fitness is, or if you have had an issue in the past that may cause you to find 5.4 a struggle, a medical issue I'm talking about, or as a woman, you might have only recently given birth, and that could cause you to have trouble reaching 5.4 on the bleep test. There's so many other reasons why people can find it difficult to reach 5.4. So certainly in the Facebook group, this is where there's almost 22,000 people who meet on a daily basis. I mean, seriously, there's so many comments in that group. Check the links below to find out a little bit more about it. And check the links below to find out about the academy as well. This is where we, you know, like I said, we guarantee that people are going to pass. And we don't offer that service to everyone, by the way. We're very choosy about who we work with. It's not out of arrogance, it's just out of people's needs. We choose to work with people who have the greatest need because we just don't have much time. Anyway, back to the subject. So you've got 5.4 on the bleep test to do, but also start getting your fitness squared off in terms of your body mass index, because I do see people on the webinars and the one-to-ones and I think, you're going to struggle. The time is now to lose this. You can't get a week before your bleep test and your medical and suddenly say, I think I need to lose some weight. It's too late. It's too late. And you do not want to get knocked back because of something you could have been dealing with in the here and now. So, related to that, you'll have medical, and there are certain conditions that you might have that mean you can't join the police ever. It's harsh, but a high standard of medical fitness is required, and there are other medical issues that require further investigation. Now, again, all of this is in the public domain. It might not be clear from the force website that you're applying to, but it's all in the public domain. So if you're aware of any medical issues, get them checked out. And if it's something that requires further investigation, make sure your doctor's lined up in such a way that when the force reaches out to them, they know exactly what it's all about. So medical, again, really, really important. All right, the next one, which causes so much pain for people, and I really seriously can't understand why people aren't ahead of the game on this one, and that is educational qualifications. So many of you are putting yourself through all the effort of applying, doing the national SIFT, doing the online assessment centre, preparing for the interview, you know, and everyone around you knows that this is what you want to do, what you want to achieve, and you get to the very end of the process and you ask, so can you show us evidence of your whatever qualifications they require? And there's you going, I don't have that one. Oh, if only I checked earlier. It's too late. It's too late. And this is especially an issue around English and Maths GCSE or functional skills equivalent. You could have been doing something about it now before you've applied. So get yourself lined up in terms of the educational qualifications that are required by your force. And yes, it is a minefield. There's almost 50 forces out there in just England and Wales, and they all require completely different qualifications and standards of qualifications. And on top of that, they change what they require like the wind changes direction. It's bizarre. But I've seen qualifications come and go. I think it was some of the northeastern forces. Northumbria wanted the equivalent of 3 Bs at A-level for you to join. I think that's relaxed now, they're more chilled, whereas Merseyside police at the time on the other side of the country just wanted 2 GCSEs, one in maths and one in English. And this is especially complicated when you can't find your certificates, so they want to see the originals, not copies, and it also gets complicated if you have qualifications from a different country. So now is the time to start researching all of that. Now is the time to make sure that if you need an apostille on your qualifications, that you get that done now. You don't wait until the last minute when they're saying, yeah, great, we're in a position to offer you a place. The start date's going to be in 5 weeks' time. Are you able to do it? Fantastic. Just bring in, when you come in to do your fitness tomorrow, just bring in your qualifications, will you? And you're like, I don't know where they are. It just sounds like you're someone who just doesn't plan for the future. So get a grip of it, folks. Get a grip. So there we go. We're done. Vetting, fitness, medical. There's one more. This causes no end of problems. Tattoos. Some forces are okay with them, some forces aren't. It depends on the chief constable. There are national standards in respect of tattoos, but certainly the variance across the country in terms of forces' tolerance for them is completely different. Some of them are okay if you've got a tattoo on your forearm, as long as you wear a long sleeve shirt or you state that you intend to. Little secret for you, once you're in, no one's bothered. But anyway, until then, you need to just declare that you're going to wear a long sleeve shirt when you're on duty. Some forces actually will make you do that. Bizarrely, if you go to, okay, this sounds like a big stereotype, but if you go to the firearms team, you're probably going to find a lot of tattoos going on. I know, stereotype, my apologies, but it's true. Those of you who know in the police service, you know it to be true. So tattoos is a big one. People get failed for tattoos. If you've got a tattoo on your hand anywhere, you could get failed. Ridiculously, I did some work with the College of Policing about 4 or 5 years ago. I was on a team that looked at forces, issues, problems. It was the organisational development unit, and we'd take a look at a theme within a force, spend about 3 or 4 days there, identifying the theme and perhaps the causes of them. It was fascinating work, and we were doing some work with one force around recruitment. And I just know an individual who had a tattoo of the initials of his wife tattooed underneath his wedding band got failed because he had a tattoo on his hand. I mean, how ridiculous is that? It was covered by his wedding band. Completely ridiculous, completely over the top. And we fed this back to the force. It just so happened that they came from an ethnic minority, and we didn't know, we wondered if there was something else going on there. We just don't know, we don't know. So be careful about tattoos. Do not do what one of my clients has just done. You know who you are, we've just had a conversation, we've just had a one-to-one. Yeah, I've just got this new tattoo. No, why? Don't get new tattoos or don't get yourself tattooed or inked up until you're actually in the police, and once you're in and you're out of training, no one really cares. As long as it's not like a spider's web across the side of your face or something like that, but no one's really bothered. But rule of thumb, nothing on your hands, nothing on your neck, nothing on your face. If you do have something like that, get rid of it, get it laser treated. But check first with the force what their tolerance is, because I do know, I do have had clients who've had laser surgery only for the force to go, oh, you didn't need to do that. We would have been okay with it. So ask. The tolerance of forces for tattoos is getting better, but it's still not that good in some forces, and there's a huge variance. And yes, it is unfair, but that's just the way it is. There you go, folks. 5 things that could fail you in your police recruitment process that are completely disconnected from your SIFT, your online assessment centre, or your final interview. These are things I can't help you with in the academy, but I can help you with the SIFT, the online assessment centre, the interview. If you're accepted into the academy, I guarantee you a pass. If you don't pass, I'll give you a refund. Does that sound fair? You're not going to find that in any other college or university, are you? If I don't get a degree, will you give me a refund? Don't think so. We will. We actually contract for that as well. So if you'd like to find out more about how we can accelerate your journey to success, you probably succeed anyway at some point, but why wait 5 years? 3 or 4 fails along the way. Check the links below. Come and join us. And just involves a short discovery call where we can find out whether you are a good fit, and you can find out whether we're a good fit for you. Works both ways. Check the link in the blurb below, and I shall look forward to seeing you soon. Oh, by the way, if you've liked this, please do subscribe and like. It'd be amazing if you could, and I'll catch up with you at the next one. Bye bye for now.